to disinfect, steam clean, pressure wash and whatnot the house.
Lonnie?
Yeah. So he's coming to do that on tomorrow. I still have to spray for the mold and probably need to spray for termites and replace some boards where I had a little termite damage. You know, it's not much.
And then they'll bake it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're gonna do that this weekend.
Cool. All right. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
We good?
Another. All right.
Let me get that focus.
Any
Focus.
other questions?
Huh?
Any other questions?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it? Rolling?
Yep.
Action.
About, in terms of the house, you know, when the water started filling up, I thought it was going to stop the baseboard. So in the very beginning, when the water started coming in, I had a mop and a bucket, so I started trying to mop the water up until I realized, well, water was coming in everywhere in the house. So I just thought, well, okay, I'm going to get some new floors. You know, the water's going to stop at the baseboard. Didn't stop there. We took pictures. By the time my sister got to taking pictures, the water had risen a little higher. And I was like, well, okay, the water's rising. What am I going to do? Well, I was trying to prepare me some shrimp. Not shrimp etouffee, but I forgot what the dish was. So I said, well, I'm just going to fry my shrimp. I refuse to lose my shrimp. I fried the shrimp. The water's still rising. I went in the front and I just started playing the piano. My sister started getting scared because the water was rising. Like, okay, what are we gonna do? Call 911. You know. So we called 911. They said, okay, give us a couple of hours. So she started getting nervous. So I said, I'll tell you what. I went and raised the window up. I took a bucket. I went, man overboard, man overboard. I just started dumping water out the window, just trying to get our spirits up. You know, and just realizing, like, this is unbelievable. This has never happened. I cannot believe it. This is just unbelievable. And that's all I could say, that it was just unbelievable. Because it just wasn't expected. I wasn't prepared for it. Wasn't prepared to leave. Wasn't prepared to pack and say, well, where are we going? You know, what's going to happen? I just thought the water was going to stop at a certain point, and I just could fix the house and just move on. It just didn't happen, you know. So I've been out of the house, since the 13th of August, and I haven't been back. I just been on Henry's couch trying to figure out, what am I gonna do? Where do I go from here? You know, lost my car, lost my clothes, lost everything in the house. What do I do next? You know. So that's kind of, you know, where I'm at. Just trying to figure out, what do I do next? Where do I go from here? What do I feel? It's kind of hard to feel because I'm too busy thinking. So I don't really know how to feel. I didn't anticipate on being in this position. Going from, you know, having a car, having a house to I have no car, I have no house, I have nowhere to go, nobody else to call. What am I going to do? And it's just a day-to-day, I'm just living day-to-day. That's pretty much it. I can't really think beyond that in terms of, I don't really know what to think. I don't really know how to feel. I really don't. I mean, I'm ready to get back into my house. I'm ready to get back my independence. But exactly how do you do that in this position? You know, where do you go from here? I don't really know.
But you're not doing it alone.
Huh?
You're not doing it alone.
No, I have, thank God, I have some good friends that I didn't anticipate on bringing me to the house. I just called them and said, hey, can you take me to wash some clothes? All my clothes are wet. And he said, no, I can't leave you here. I'm going to bring you where I'm at. And so he brought me and my sister, the dog, and the 2 cats, you know, at his house. And that's where I've been ever since. You know. So I don't really have any other thoughts. I hope I can get back to things that I had planned before all of this happened, so that I can continue to pursue, music. Musically, I haven't sung, I haven't practiced, I haven't done anything with reference to music, because it's not a whole lot that I can do at this point. But I'm hoping to get back to some plans that I had, some pursuits. I can say this was my thought. It reminded me of the scripture in the Bible when Jesus stated that you know not the hour in which he will come back. And this particular flood reminded me of that. We know not the hour that this flood was coming. Nobody was prepared for this at all. And I guess I would say that you always have to stay prepared. You always need to keep a suitcase or something prepared just in case, because it's just not enough time to think, what do I do? How do I do? Where do I go? How do I get out of this situation? You don't have time to think. So I would say you always have to stay prepared. A lot of people was out of insurance. They didn't have insurance, thinking that, well, this is not going to ever flood. This is not going to ever happen. You don't know. So I would say you always have to stay prepared. So if 50 years from now, what I would want people to know is to just stay prepared. Well, you can't give up. You can't give up. I was in the bank and they had a long line. The lady was upset because they only had 3 tellers. And she's like, well, where's the tellers? Why are they not here? And I'm thinking, well, how do you know that they didn't flood too? How do you know that they didn't lose everything? We all have to stand in line. And she said, well, I lost everything. I'm like, no, you didn't. You didn't lose your life. You still have your life. We lost things and stuff. But what if I had lost my life? I wouldn't. There would be no me to fix the house. There would be no me to recoup whatever I lost. So I'm just thankful that I have my life, that God spared my life, and I have that. And I can continue to pursue and persevere after things that I want to have in my life. Yeah, definitely. Definitely hope. About
Anything at all?
nothing. Just really just be thankful for what you have. And you can't give up. This is not the last straw. This is not it just because this happened. So what? It happened. Big deal. Life goes on. You have to move on. And that's what I want to do. I just want to move on. I just want to know what's the next step and get some assistance and so that I can move on. So there's nothing else to do. If it's not this tragedy, it's going to be another. It's always going to be something. But it's a challenge, and it challenges you, and it challenges me anyway in life. That what if everything was always good? Then I would be bored. I would be bored. So this is a challenge. It's not, it's scary because I didn't expect this at this point in my life to happen. So it does get a little scary. It's saddened for those who are older than I am and they've lost everything. It's like, how do you start over at 70? How do you start over, at 80? And it's a little rougher for them. So I'm saddened when I see situations like that, But you still have to find a way to move on. I think you pretty much covered everything.
What about the people that rescued you, the men in the army trucks?
Oh my God. Oh my God. I wish that I had taken pictures of the 2 men in the boat. I wish I had taken pictures of 2 men in the boat, as well as the rescue guys. you know, because they come in not knowing what they're getting themselves into. They have no idea. And I don't know where these two guys, I remember one of the guys said he actually came to rescue his sister. And when he rescued his sister, he just saw more people needed to be rescued. So once he rescued his sister, he and the other guys stayed behind and just tried their best to rescue as many people as they could. No thought at all for their life. No thought at all that, hey, I could drown in the process of trying to pick up somebody that's just too heavy for me to pick up. But they were optimistic. Those two got two men in a boat. That's what I would label that, 2 men in a boat. They were very optimistic, and the soldiers, the army guys that came out, they had no thought for their life at all. They just came in and just jumped in and just immediately started rescuing people. No thought for their own lives. They were very optimistic. They really were, but they were more seriously wondering, how do we get out of here? Because everywhere was flooded. And so then we had to figure out, well, which way do we go? We can't go plank. We're going down airline. When we get to airline, which way do we go? We can't go right because the street was blocked off. So we go left. And then where's the nearest rescue center? Those were the questions that I remember them asking. You know, where's the next rescue center? And so they were talking to whoever else they were talking to, letting them know, well, the closest rescue center to you is McKinley Middle. Take them there. They were definitely optimistic. The 2 men in the boat. This area is part of the kitchen, right? The washer and the deep freezer goes here. I had a little short little counter area, and these were all the kitchen cabinets and zinc and whatnot went here. The refrigerator, where the refrigerator went? Went here, and the washer went here, and the stove went here. This was a door leading into the garage. And this was a door leading into the living room. This is the living room area. This is where my piano was. I had a piano here. And I had a day bed right here with a little nightstand, so to speak. And all my office furniture was here in this area, as well as a small office furniture. My studio equipment is right here. And the rest of this was my library. All of this area was part of my library. This was a door, and all this on this whole back wall was my library. And where I kept my copy machine. This is the hallway. This was a little closet where the central heating system goes. This is the main bathroom. This is where the bathtub was, and the toilet, and the zinc. This was a bedroom, my son's bedroom. I turned into an exercise room. This area. And this was his closet. Well, it was a closet area. He had a door on it. This was my daughter's old bedroom. The closet. Bedroom area. And this is the master bedroom, where I had my bed was here, my armoire was here, and this is just a little half bath. And this is it. Oh, and the closet, right here in this area. That's my little closet. And that's it. Where the ceiling cracked really bad in a lot of areas after the flood. I don't know if the house shifted or whatever. But it cracked pretty bad. About right here. And it was a little higher than that in the garage. but all the area where you see all of this black up to here is how high the water got. It looked a little lower on the paneling because I had paneling and I had drywall. So when you pull the paneling off, the mark was actually higher. With the paneling on, it looked like it was about right here, but it was actually here. But I had electricity the whole time and water. And this is the garage area. And the water got really high in here. About right here. If I put everything back, I'm gonna just put back pretty much what I had. Put everything back like it was. I'm definitely gonna put some different floors down. That wood flooring really scared me. It was a mountain throughout the entire house because I had wood floors from front to back. So I have some pictures of that before and after, of the water in the front as well as the back. The water in the house when we left out about going on, close to 11 o'clock, the water was right here in the house.
At night or in the morning?
At night. Outside the house, we were in between the cars, the water was here. But when you got to the foot of the driveway, the water was here. In the street, it was over my head. So we had two guys in a boat that passed by and saw us standing, me and my sister standing in between the cars, and say, "Hey, we're gonna come back and get you." And shortly thereafter, there was a big army truck that came down the street, but we couldn't walk to the truck because the water was over our head. So the boat actually came to the front door and picked us up and brought us to the truck. And that's how we got out of here. Brought us to the shelter, McKinley Middle. We got there about 11:15 p.m. So that's pretty much the story.
Wow.
We probably called 911 about 3 times and said, "Give us a couple hours. Give us a couple." 3 times. "Give us a couple hours." So that last time, I'm like, we better get out of here. They're not gonna make it over here. We're not gonna get out of here. So I said, hopefully somebody will pass in a boat.
Okay.
It was Saturday. We had been here all day, and it was raining, and the street was flooded. But the water, it took a while before the water got to my front door because my house sits a little higher than everybody else's. So it was a gradual rise. It wasn't all of a sudden. Just myself, the 2 cats and a dog, and my sister. And we managed to get actually 2 bins of clothes out of here, and we put the animals in plastic bins. That's how we got them out, to let them float like in a boat. And that's how we got them out. We had to put a top on the cats because they kept jumping out. They kept jumping out. I said, "Listen here, y'all got 9 lives, but you're going to lose a life tonight if you don't stay in this bin." So when we put a top on them, that kind of calmed them down. So, but that's how we got out. If it hadn't been for those 2 guys in the boat, we couldn't even get to the truck. We wouldn't have been able to get to the truck. And my neighbor, it was 7 people with a baby stuck in their house next door. So the boat had to go to the front door and get them once it got us safely in the truck. So, and usually when it's a hard rain, it'll flood the street. You can't drive your car in the street, but the water always drains. I've been here 27 years. This has never happened. Never. And I thought, like always, well, the water's gonna drain. Not this time. Why the water didn't drain?
Why didn't it drain this time?
I have no idea. The guy actually downtown said it was just too much for the area. It wasn't draining, and whatever waters are in this area, it just kept rising, and the water just wasn't cresting. And before you know it, you had water in the front, water on the side, and water in the back. And there was just nowhere to go. And I thought, well, we'll be able to at least walk out of here. That's what I thought. Till one of the bins got away, and I went to go get it in the street, and I went, oh, it's too late. I said, it's too deep, go back, we can't walk out. We're not gonna be able to walk out of here. And even when the army truck came, they tried to go forward, then the truck started filling up with water. And then this guy said, no, stop, back it up. We had to back up all the way to Lemonwood, to the corner, and turn around and go back that way, toward Airline Highway. Because going toward Plank Road, we'd all drowned in the army truck. So, it got pretty hot.